Every time people talk about AI, it's an Armageddon scenario. But to be honest, AI really is a convergence opportunity.
That is the scary part, because the minute AI has that consciousness, which humans have, we'll be extinct.
You realize that technology is really the issue. If you see AI behaving in a particular way, it's just a reflection of who we are as humanity.
The fear that people have with AI is that where you would need 10 human beings, you need only one now. And then the rest of it is managed with AI.
The model only knows what you've taught it. If we leverage it for what we want it to do, it can do a lot for us. It can change the way we do work. The next 5 years will make the most number of millionaires because it will create a lot of value.
Hello and welcome to the Dreamcatchers Show Season 2, where we capture inspiring stories, one dream at a time. Hosted by your very own Shalimar Motial. Powered by The Resilient Investor. Associate sponsor Ritika, your health coach. Knowledge partners Global Indian International School. Restaurant partners Noah, Olivia and Cake. Supported by JQ Yachts, Flying Dolphin. Media partner Crazy Talk. And hair and makeup by Chandni Sahu. As promised, we will keep getting exciting guests on our show. Today with us, we have someone who is going to tell us all about the buzz that's happening in AI. Aren't we all talking about it? Is AI going to take our lives away? What is going to happen? Are we going to lose our jobs? Or is it really going to amplify and make our lives better? We have Bindhu Nelson from Purpose Lab to tell us all about it. She has been managing partner at Purpose Lab and a seasoned leader in AI, digital transformation and business strategy. With over 2 decades of experience driving innovation across tech giants like Microsoft and a passion for sustainability, Bindhu is shaping the future where technology and purpose go hand in hand. Welcome to the show, Bindhu.
Thank you, Shalimar. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Of course, we are so happy to have you here, especially to burst all the myths about AI. Is it going to take our jobs away? What's going to happen? What's your take on it?
So I know it's a bit like an Armageddon, right? Every time people talk about AI, it's an Armageddon scenario. It's everything's going to end.
Yeah.
But to be honest, AI really is a convergence opportunity. It's really going to be the infrastructure of businesses going forward. And it also means that if it's going to be the new infrastructure of businesses going forward, it also means that it requires a different kind of skills. It doesn't mean that it's going to wipe out the human. Most AI systems are always built with human in the loop. So, so we do a lot of work at Purpose Lab. We do a lot of work with financial services institutions, so banks, or any other regulatory heavy industry. It's very important for them to have accountability, traceability, auditability, and all of these things can't happen unless there's a human attached to it. So the chances of roles going away, jobs going away, of course there will be transformation. That's a given. So if you remember the time when there was medical transcription, it didn't exist before, right? There was the idea that you would listen to somebody talking and you would actually transcribe it for them. It didn't exist, and that came about because of that time and that technology burst that happened, and that became a whole industry, and that industry is going away because now it can be automated. So it doesn't mean that the jobs are going to go away completely, but I think the jobs will transform into more value-added roles.
Right.
I think that's the nature of it.
So people need to kind of educate themselves with the new technology, right? Go with the times.
Yeah, that's it. And I think the skills, human skills, become more valuable in this environment. So the human skills that I would say are really critical is, so if you have systems thinking skills, so you're able to rationalize how an AI system would interact with a organization or with society, so you think through how that lands. The second one would be ethical reasoning. So ethical reasoning skills are super important because you can start to make intelligent trade-offs and look at unintended consequences and evaluate what's the best course. The third would be this collaborative intelligence, I'd say. So collaborative intelligence is really how you would engage with the AI systems. not to make it a tool, but to make it a co-creation partner. So it makes you more strategic, it makes you more valuable, it gives you more time back, and it allows the human to be the center of the conversation. So I think it's the opposite. I think it's going to enable us in ways that we couldn't have before.
However, I also feel that the fear that people have with AI is that where you would need 10 human beings, you need only one now,
Yes.
right? And then the rest of it is managed with AI. That's the worry and fear that jobs are going to get taken away.
And that is true, though. So if you look at in our personal lives, the way we've adopted AI, generative AI, AI was always there.
Right.
I mean, for decades it was there. So the generative AI component was fairly new the last couple of years. And the new motion, of course, is agentic AI, which is autonomous completely. So in our personal lives, we've been able to adapt to AI with great gusto. I mean, we've all been quite progressive in the way we've sort of, ChatGPT, there's hardly anybody who doesn't use it, or Canva, or Perplexity. I mean, we have no issues at all.
Right.
But that's our personal lives. But as soon as you move it to our work environments, the enterprises, or even mid-market, then the organizational dynamics come to play. People come to play, and there's a process that needs to be followed. There's accountability. There's regulatory pressures. There's legal issues. So all of these, they're not blockers to AI, but it's a different way of engaging with the system.
Right.
So it also means that the transformation in that workspace is not as quick as our personal lives. So what we experience in our personal lives, the speed and the agility that we've taken it on, you're not going to see that in our work environment. And that's where the jobs are. But you're right. In a lot of cases, it forces companies to be more intentional about the capabilities they really want, capabilities they need for now and for the future.
Right.
So right after COVID, there was this period where most companies overhired because it was the easy thing to do. But if AI is this transformational tool, which it is, then it allows you to be more, you deliver more value for your shareholders, you deliver more value to your customers. So if that's the option, if that's the intensity you lead with, then the jobs must evolve to it.
Right.
So, but yes,
so that's how you see AI transforming the way organizations approach both profit and purpose?
Absolutely. So like I mentioned, AI is really this opportunity that allows companies to not have to choose between profit and purpose. So, a few years ago, in the traditional model, businesses had to do that. Businesses had to sort of make a trade-off and say, well, this is profitability for me, and therefore the sustainability part or the purpose part might not be that important. And decades of that is what has landed us here in this situation. But with AI, it gives companies to optimize multiple lines of their business at the same time. And they don't have to make these sort of trade-offs. They can coexist together. A good example, Shalima, would be like supply chain. If you take supply chain and, if you use AI to optimize some of the supply chain conversations, you will see benefit to cost for sure, because you optimize. Customers benefit from it. And then in some cases, even underserved communities have access to stuff. But all of this is enabled because of this technology.
Right.
So I think it's not something that we can ignore, because it will change the dynamic of how work is done and how work is evaluated as strategic and what valuable is really. But I don't think standing still with it will help. If you have to sort of evolve and move with it.
100%, for sure. So what are the biggest challenges companies face in adopting AI responsibly? And how does Purpose Lab help them overcome these hurdles?
So we have a little podcast ourselves, and it's called Agents of Change. And we wanted to sort of understand what were the challenges companies had in adoption. And I had one conversation with this gentleman from Chief Digital Officer from HSBC. His name is Shayan Hazir. And he spoke about culture and the role that culture plays in adoption. And so when we sort of dug down, you realize that technology is really the issue. Organizations don't adopt AI because of culture, the way their organization structure is, their collaboration dynamics. All of these things are what holds companies back.
So in a way, it boils down to that one decision maker then?
No, not really. So what holds companies back is usually they don't have a governance framework. So a governance framework for innovation that keeps in pace with the AI, at the pace at which AI is developing.
Okay.
So if you don't have a governance framework that holds it, it falls apart because you just don't know how to move forward. The second piece is how you get your teams to collaborate. So in a lot of cases, teams would innovate in silos, but for the true value of AI, the collaboration of teams is super important because what you want to do is, if you're looking at agentic or AI agents, you want to deploy them in sort of workflow nodes where you can release friction and augment capacity. So teams need to work together. The collaboration is super, super important.
Right.
So I would say these are some of the areas where companies need to be sort of thinking through what is that culture of innovation that they want to drive and what is that conscious way they want to adopt AI. So at Purpose Lab, as part of our experimentation canvas, we have a framework which is responsible innovation with AI. And all our solutions are built with AI. So we have this framework, and for us, the ethical, responsible part of AI is the first principle that we work with. So it's not an afterthought. And so what we say is that's included as part of our design principle.
Okay.
And we co-create with our customers, and we allow them to sort of experience what that build process is like.
Right.
And we also help them with their change management in their organizations.
Right. So other than the culture aspect, do you see anything else that they're apprehensive about, the companies that you're approaching right now?
I think it's the starting point. So the starting point of companies is usually the hard thing. So if you say, hey, I want to deploy AI, it falls flat. That's where we come in.
Absolutely.
So we do a bit of the advisory piece where we sort of ideate with them and say, hey, here's what is possible. And we pick it up from this perspective of value creation. If you did address this, then the value, the incremental value that you can generate, not just optimization, but hey, you can help with churn, or you can help with your customer experience, or your productivity gains, or blah. So you get to look at that value creation process, and that makes it compelling enough to say, I think this is worth investing time in. So what we tell our customers is, it doesn't have to be a monolith of a conversation, because most companies, if you've been around for a couple of decades, at least the enterprises, if you've been around for a decade, you have legacy infrastructure. In no universe will you be able to just start fresh.
Absolutely.
So what we say,
and that's a scary thought.
Yeah, it's just not affordable. And I remember in my previous jobs, that's where you make money, by helping them modernize their stack, infrastructure, data, the applications. That's where the work is. But if customers are sort of anchored on that, it just gets very hard. The starting point gets hard. So what we tell them is, hey, you can start really small. You don't have to wait for 5 years for something perfect. You can have something really good now. And so we work on small modules, small experiments that helps them experience the solution, experience the benefits they're going to get from it, and then accretively move on.
Oh, beautiful. So they get comfortable with it as well, right?
Yeah, it gives them the opportunity to experience the technology and look at the value creation it gets them, and then decide how they want to go integrate it into the core. So you don't have to wait for everything to be perfect to adopt AI. You can adopt AI in
bits and pieces, right? Okay. So after leading major cloud and AI initiatives at Microsoft, what lessons have you brought into your work at Purpose Lab?
Oh, that's a really nice one. At Microsoft, it's this large $4 trillion monolithic company. And I enjoyed my time there. And I have a very good friend from Microsoft. You might know him, Himanshu.
Oh, really? Yeah, I do.
So, I was there for about 14 and a half years. And it teaches you a bunch of things. It teaches you how to scale. It teaches you how to manage a channel. It teaches you how to think strategically, go into the details. That's expected of everybody. And the mission of Microsoft really is, I think the exact language was getting every person in the planet to do more. Or achieve more. And you can imagine, Shalima, in that large $4 trillion company, I'm a tiny little speck. And as I got older, and I spent a good 14 and a half years there, I kept thinking, what does it mean to scale? So you can scale profits for the company, you can scale initiatives for the company, but how do you scale impact? And what does that impact mean from a very personal sense?
Right.
From Microsoft perspective, yes, but for me personally, as I move on in life and do other things and get into different phases of my life, I wanted to be able to scale my own impact. And this beautiful thing happened where this opportunity opened up where customers struggling to adopt AI was was front and center of all conversations. So I said, hey, why not leverage this? And then, of course, the agentic motion came in, and that changed the way that we built and we thought through problems and we addressed change and infrastructure. All of that changed. So I feel like Microsoft taught me how to scale, how to think of impact. But Purpose Lab allows me to do it.
Beautiful.
The why becomes more clearer.
Right.
In Microsoft, it's very rare if you don't have like 20 things hitting you at the same time.
Okay.
So you're constantly in this zone where you're just catching and tossing and managing. But the beauty of something like Purpose Lab is we can think singularly about solving problems. You can spend 1 or 2 months just deeply immersing yourself in a problem for a customer. So the value you can deliver in that conversation is unparalleled.
Absolutely.
Of course, you don't have the breadth and the depth of a large company, but you have your network that fills in for that.
Like sometimes I'm sure clients get lost in Microsoft.
Yeah.
Right? So that focus and attention, that individual focus and attention that you probably can give a client is unparalleled.
Yeah, so much so that we're able to say, hey, let's ideate with you. Let's think through what your challenges are. So I was in Philippines last week, and the conversation there was really, hey, they have a network bank issue. That they have thrift banks, so underserved communities, unbanked. I beg your pardon, unbanked. So the question is, hey, how do we get loans to them? And so these sort of ideation and just thinking through, not agents, AI, none of that. But to just truly sort of discuss a problem and to go back and immerse yourself in making it right for a customer, it's just tremendous. It's just I wouldn't give it up. I think it was a good thing.
So how did your time managing global teams at Microsoft shape your views on collaboration and innovation, which I'm sure you're using a lot in your current role?
Absolutely. So in a company like Microsoft, collaboration is a given. So much so that as part of our culture shift that happened when Satya Nadella took over was our impact was based on these 3 circles. One was your individual impact. One was how you contributed to the impact of other people, which could only happen with collaboration, and how you were leading with diversity and inclusion. So inclusion, innovating, collaboration was a given. You could not do without it, and it's a great environment to do it because you have brilliant, fantastic people. You have diverse teams. You could walk across the floor and ask somebody, hey, what do you think about this? And they will give you their perspective. And it's a great feeling to have access to all of these intelligent people. So now comes Purpose Lab. You go there and you go like, I have all of these ideas, but I can't brainstorm with anybody. And it took a while to get the hang of it. So we said, okay, look, if that's the case, we learn through conversation. I learn through conversation. So I said, let's do this. So we have this little podcast called Agents in Action. And it's basically bringing our customers into our office and talking about, hey, what does it take? What holds AI adoption back? How can we help? Give us your thoughts. And it's not about selling technology, but they gave us their perspective and we broke it up and said, today we'll discuss culture, we'll discuss trust, all from the perspective of AI adoption. And then, of course, the beauty of being in a company for that long is I still keep in touch with everybody. So we bring those perspectives into the office. We're very open about sharing all the work we're doing because I believe if you share it, you bring perspectives in and you create better.
Absolutely. And when you call the clients in, and they're sharing their pain point, that's when you can help them with it, right? Yeah. So it's like a win-win situation for both.
And you hear it from them and you hear it from their perspective. They don't speak about it from the perspective of technology. They speak about it from the perspective of their business and the challenges that they're facing. So that sort of helped. So the collaboration piece it's harder in a smaller company. But of course, you find ways to bring in the perspectives.
Right. So could you share a pivotal moment from your career that changed your perspective on technology's role in society?
I don't know if there's a pivotal moment. I don't know if there's a pivotal moment really, but I think it's like this accretive process. At different phases of your life, you experience things differently. But maybe if I could call out one, it's probably the COVID times, you know.
Okay.
And that was a big shift. We didn't think it would last as long as it did.
Right.
And technology was the only thing that connected us to our teams, connected us to our customers.
Right.
And it was the only thing that kept us going. So we worked harder, we were a lot more productive. And my own teams, we had to deal with stress, isolation,
Right.
all of these things that were not top of mind for all of us at that point. And technology allowed us to bridge that. And I think that was a phenomenal time.
Yeah, that's a great example. That's a great example. How do you envision the intersection of AI and sustainability evolving over the next 5 years?
Like I said, AI is infrastructure. And I know there is some debate about the harm that AI does to the environment versus sustainability goals. But in reality, once you integrate AI into solving sustainability challenges, the outcomes you get are far superior than trying to solve it without.
Right.
So, for example, with AI, you can predict the tsunamis, you can predict environmental issues, biodiversity issues. So you can leverage it to an extent in ways that you couldn't before.
Right.
So I believe that the intersection is a given. And the more we leverage it as a co-creator, I think the better it will get.
Right. Are there any misconceptions about AI's impact on society, business, that people ask you, like you going and meeting clients and then they ask you this basic question about, oh, AI is this, that, and then these are all myths that you need to get over?
See, that's an interesting thing, right? Because like the AI is they're basically algorithms that people have designed, and it's a reflection of who we are as a people, as a collective people, our biases and our version of the world. And so if you see AI behaving in a particular way, it's just a reflection of who we are as humanity. It's a bit unfortunate. But I think when customers look at AI solutions, they're very concerned about hallucination or when AI will get it wrong. But the reality is a human being will get it wrong far more times than AI ever will. So we were working on this one solution, and it's for anti-money laundering. So if an entire process takes 4 to 5 hours for them to do, and with our agents, AI agents, which is these microservices that we configure, we could bring that down to a minute. But then it still took about 2 hours for them to complete the workflow.
You're saying that AI is a result of human behavior.
Indeed.
And that is the scary part, because the minute AI has that consciousness which humans have and they don't right now, we'll be extinct.
So the thing is, as human beings, I can appreciate the glass, I can smell your perfume, I can sense the heat in this room or chill in this room, and I have a perception around me. But the model doesn't. The model only knows what you've taught it. It cannot smell. It cannot sense that. I cannot sense a flicker.
Eventually.
It'll be a long time, I think. It'll be a long time.
I really hope not in our lifetime.
No, but I think, if we leverage it for what we want it to do, it can do a lot for us. It can change the way we do work. It can give us enormous productivity. It can give us enormous value creation. I think there was this, I think the NVIDIA CEO put it, he said, the next 5 years will make the most number of millionaires because it will create a lot of value if we harness it in the right way. Are we fair to be afraid of it? I don't think so. And most of the AI models, there are a few that have gone crazy, but most of the standard ones that we use are very responsible.
Right.
Even if you trigger it to behave back, it won't. The guardrails are very well put in place, and it's how the companies like Microsoft for sure OpenAI is very similar. It's very rare for it to go off track.
Okay, that's good to hear. And that's a myth right there, that it's going to take over human beings, that she's just burst for us.
Yeah. You look at AI art, and yes, there's beauty, but you also look at, you look at artists who do ceramic and like fantastic. You can't, it's not, there's no way to replicate it.
Absolutely, yeah. So what motivates you to personally keep pushing boundaries in tech and business strategy?
I think my big motivation was the purpose of my life. Is it to make a company more profitable? Is it to scale technology, or is it to scale impact? So this was the dialogue that was happening in my head for many years. We were in Japan for a bit and we came back, and I was thinking, is this what I want to do? And this whole concept of how do you scale impact? What does that mean? And that's kind of important to me. And I feel that, as my son has moved on and he's going to university, and I'm an empty nester, and it changes the dynamic quite significantly. It changed for us at least. So having this sort of impact at scale and how to work through really important challenges and how to make it better for a customer is a valuable pursuit for me.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I get energy from there, and I anchor on it.
Lovely. Which recent AI development excites you most, and why?
The multimodal AI, which we just had this conversation a few seconds ago. So as human beings, we can perceive, we can hear, we can do this all at the same time. I can
5 senses,
see size, I can see context, I can smell, I can do all of these things. But now AI can do a lot of it. It can't do the conscious part of it, but it can start to look at multiple perspectives and see them in context and behave more and more in context. So it's able to solve challenges a lot better. Case in point would be like, let's say you're looking at a anti-money laundering scenario, and the system picks it up, and there's a threshold. Usually regulators have a threshold for this. So you see the threshold and you go like, oh, okay, this looks like you want to flag it, and it looks like an. But now AI, because it can go to multiple systems, understand, put information in context, it doesn't look at one data point of just a threshold. It's able to say, yeah, that looks like it, but that's not true. And here are the 5 reasons why you shouldn't really, you shouldn't waste time on it. It's okay. But have a human review it, but it's not true. It's a false positive. So the ability to do that is phenomenal. So imagine a bank with transacting 100,000 transactions a day. And even if 10% of it, you have to go through and review it, but you have something that bridges it for you and say, well, you don't have to go through 10,000 of it.
Right.
Go through 1,000. Even that is enough workload.
It's definitely going to give us way more time to do the things we love to do, right?
Yeah. Because there's no AI that's going to help you cook a meal or go for a walk.
Right.
Or take your...
Or enjoy a movie on your behalf, right?
So that's what it's going to give you. It's going to give you some time to do these things.
Of course. So if you could talk directly to your client through this platform, what is that one key message that you want to give?
I would say purpose before technology. Important to know what you want to solve for and why you want to solve for it. And once you have that clear, you can bring in the technology that you need to help you solve it. So we look at problem and we say, hey, here are some small experiments we can run for you. And the small experiments gives people the confidence to say, well, okay, you run water through the pipes. It's not massive, it's not monolithic. You run water through the pipes and you say, okay, this works. Maybe I tweak. And it's not a big investment. It's not a big cost investment to do these small experiments.
So to everyone watching, start small, scale. Don't be afraid of AI. It's our friend and not an enemy. Right, Bindhu?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. Any final thoughts?
No, this has been so awesome. I've had a great time, and it's been a very nice conversation. Thank you so much.
It's been a phenomenal pleasure to have you here. We were also scared about AI. We knew the good parts as well, but it always helps to hear from the person who's dealing with it, who's an expert in AI, knows what she's doing. So thank you so much for your time. and keep watching. Stay tuned. Please follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We are everywhere. iTunes, Apple Podcast, and you can read about us on Medium through blog. We will keep getting inspiring stories. Keep watching us and stay tuned. Signing off, Shalima Motiya. Thank you so much. That's the conversation going on right now, right?
So it doesn't have a consciousness. I mean, you can.
It will develop. That's the discussion going on.
So let me look at my notes for one quick second. Yeah. They're so small I couldn't read a thing. I was just like, I don't know what this is. It's all right. It's okay.